AI is better at, it's 80 or 90% as good at both their jobs. And now you've eliminated the mismatch.
You're not going to be replaced by AI, but someone using AI is going to replace you.
A generic model like chat can't really help me unless it can learn all of my environment.
Welcome to Money Mavericks, the podcast where we explore the dynamic world of finance, investment, and entrepreneurship.
I'm Kirk Drake.
And I'm Daryl Hicks. Together, we're here to bring you the latest insights, expert opinions from the trailblazers who are redefining success in the financial world. I'm really curious about what it is that you're doing on the AI side, implementing AI for large companies. Maybe unpack that just a little bit. What does that look like right now?
Yeah, it's honestly all over the place, Daryl, but it's evolved, right? So doing this for the last, call it 3 years, 2.5 years, it's really interesting to see the different businesses that are approaching it, the C-suite that finally gets it and gets clued in, because we're typically dealing with an older board, if you will, or an older team, especially at B2B companies that do things one way, and that's the way that they're going to do it. And they're finally seeing the writing on the wall. Many times when they're hiring, younger talent, AI is the infrastructure that they all need to be thinking about, because more than likely, one step or multiple steps of the current process need to be replaced and can be replaced by AI, with just spending the time of evaluating the entire workflow of how does it go from A to B, or from, someone interested in us to us shipping the thing to them.
AI is better at, it's 80 or 90% as good at both their jobs. And now you've eliminated the mismatch.
You're not going to be replaced by AI, but someone using AI is going to replace.
Yeah.
We talk about AI displacing all of these jobs, but, without that curiosity, plus I think the other element of that is the value that you're bringing, whether it be to the world itself or the company that you work for, or the business that you've started. There's tremendous value in those assets, right?
Yep.
When that company goes to sell. And I think a lot of C-suite didn't realize that, of like, oh, if we actually create this library of prompts that make our employees more efficient, then our exit value is, a multiple of that now. It's just an exciting space, but every company is kind of facing different challenges, but the goal is still efficiency. And how do we become more efficient with the team that we have? For the ones that want to raise their hand and be like, yes, sign me up for that. I can see where this could be valuable.
And so I see this shift where the people that are on the right side of that cognitive floor are like, yeah, I can do this, I can do that, I can specialize, and there's all these new opportunities coming. But I'm worried about more and more people kind of getting left behind.
I was all about validation. Today, I've shifted to velocity over everything. Get something out there as fast as possible, test it, iterate it, make moves. I encourage failure. It is not a 4-letter word in our house. What'd you fail at today?
Yeah.
I'm trying to encourage that as much as possible so that they don't think about it as failures.
I feel like some of the greatest lessons and stories, even for us as founders, come from our failures.
Failure's typically a people problem, not a technology problem.
The problem we think we're solving and the reason why the person bought it are completely disconnected, right?
So that's where we need to shift and realize that if we use these tools, we can really increase velocity. So we're still validating, but we're using these tools to validate so much more quickly. And then moving off the data points. Is that a right way to frame it?
Yeah, I think we've collapsed the time to make data-driven decisions.
Do you think it also works for enterprise sales cycles, like B2B enterprise?
It does, begrudgingly. I think, again, like old school business, this is how we do things, but the evolution speed, I think, is much faster now in terms of evaluating software, seeing if there's fit internally. Does it integrate it into our ERP, CRM, all those acronyms? And then what does it look like to implement? And what do we think the change measurement might be? Like, what's our hypothesis on measured outcomes that equate to dollars and cents? How do we put that in place? Who owns that? Because many times it's not the person that's the director or the head. There's so many people that aren't doing this, right? Like that are missing out on life and about the opportunity to continue their life in a healthier manner with the tools that are here today that are free to log into and use and put your data into, right? And I think we're at the point where, again, if they're not willing to upskill themselves or see the writing on the wall, then shame on who?
It's really urgent that you get in there and just start being curious and play with these tools as much as you possibly can. Make it part of your daily life. Get yourself more literate and familiar with it is really huge.
On Money Mavericks, we don't just talk about making money. We explore the innovative strategies and bold decisions that drive real change. Whether you're an experienced investor, a budding entrepreneur, or just someone looking to make smarter financial choices, we've got something for you.
Every week, we're going to sit down with industry leaders, visionaries, and mavericks who share their journeys, challenges, and breakthroughs, from contrarian views on market trends to the secrets behind building a successful startup. You get an inside look at what it takes to thrive in today's economy.
And we promise to keep it real, engaging, and most importantly, actionable. No jargon, no fluff. Just straightforward conversations that you can apply to your own financial journey.
So get ready to challenge your thinking, expand your knowledge, and take control of your financial future. This is Money Mavericks,
where we turn financial dreams into realities and mavericks into legends.
ChatGPT got released and we started doing more and more with AI. And I was like, this is a couple of years ago, and I was just like, oh man, I just love this stuff. And there is no better place in the world to learn this technology than a company like Amazon or a Google or Microsoft. Those are these big guys, right? Because there's just so many resources, right? I mean, we had access to Anthropic before anybody else did. We had our own models. We were, innovating in a very early stage. And I had an opportunity to stay and run a division, basically rebuilding almost all of our old software using AI agents to replace a lot of that work. And I was like, wow.
How much faster was it to rebuild it?
Oh my God. It was like a tenth. Like it was, we had all of these proprietary models for doing this activity we had called right sizing, where we would look at the age and the type and the generation of a server running on-prem, and then we'd figure out, the best AWS EC2 instance size or the best storage size or the best compute cluster to make it work. And to maintain that was a huge pain in the butt. Like every time new models came out, we had to update it. Like we replaced that in like 10 minutes, and it was so much easier and so much faster. And then, where it got super interesting was when we had agents that could actually take some of these actions. And then, because we used to rely on humans to connect all these dots. So it was like, oh, I just generated this business case. Now download it, do something with it, take the results of it, upload it to this other thing when you're ready to do the next step, and then hand that off to another human to do the next steps. And, every time you hand something off from one human to another, what happens? You lose time. Right. And then, sometimes you lose a lot of time. You can lose weeks, months, years. So by automating those pieces and stitching together end to end with agents that could then do the work with a human in the loop, you're really able to speed things up. And this is just one of many use cases, but it was a really powerful one for us.
Yeah. Definitely want to talk more about the use cases for AI and for agents. I saw this meme on social media the other day where you're just talking to a group of CEOs, what do you want? AI. When do you want it? Now. What do you want it for? We don't know. Right? Everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon and feels like they're going to get left behind if they don't have an AI strategy. The thing I love about your experience working at Amazon is you guys were in there solving real world problems at scale with speed, and you had access to some of the best engineering minds out there in creating this stuff. Are there any benchmarks that you think that you'd like to retire, or any that you think we should keep?
Any benchmarks? Well, I don't know if this would qualify as a benchmark, but any programmer that doesn't want to use AI to program, just let them go. Just get rid of them. Like honestly, you're at such a disadvantage. And if there's an executive that's like, I'm not going to use AI in my company, or a sales leader that's, not using AI to do pipeline analytics and some of those things because they want to do it the way they've always done it. I'm sorry, please go. I think there's no good reason for that. So I think that's one for sure is the status quo is gone. It's all new. Be hands-on, get into it, figure it out, learn how this is going to make you a force multiplier, and then force multiply. So I think that's probably one that's top of mind for me.
And I know I'm monopolizing the questions here, but I really had a couple I wanted to ask. Feel free to interrupt me anytime, Kirk. But I know you're thinking a lot about what's next. Aaron's not done. Aaron's not going to retire. We all know that. I can't wait. I know a lot of people can't wait to see what it is that you do next. But I'd love to hear your thinking. There's this thesis out there where, all the base models are going to kind of commoditize. So where do you see the moat in building a business in that space? Like, is it around eval data? Is it around like retrieval telemetry? Is it workflow IP? Like, where do you think you could actually build a really successful business in AI with a good moat today?
I've been having this conversation with myself almost every night before I go to sleep. I'm actually not sure that a moat is as important now as it used to be. I think speed matters more now than it's ever mattered in the past, right? Like, there's an Amazon saying like speed matters disproportionately. Like these solutions need to get out there. We've got to fail fast. We've got to get out there and really innovate and get technology in the hands of customers so that our customers can help tell us what works, what doesn't work, what they like and what they don't like. And I think with AI, it's even more prescient than ever before. I think the technology is changing so fast.
Speed and adaptability.
Speed and adaptability becomes the most important aspect. Can we create a technological moat? Maybe, but if you do, the technology might leapfrog it by the time you actually get a product out to market. I'm sort of sharing like early stage thinking. I've not thought super deeply about this yet or asked any experts.
Well, it's an interesting reverse question of that is like, if using AI today, would Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Apple been able to create the moats in the first place?
Yeah.
Right. Like, I don't know. I feel like the speed of which you'd have to do that is so much faster today.
I think it's also one of the reasons that you're seeing so much investment in the large cloud providers and models.
Yeah.
Investments in Anthropic, investments in OpenAI. Like these models will commoditize at some point.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you think we end up with one big AI winner, the way we have one big smartphone winner and one big corporate software winner and one big search winner, right? Like
Visa and MasterCard, who own like almost all the
payments.
payments.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting question. I think no. I mean, in the fullness of time, maybe. Like, but
we don't have a big internet winner. I mean, like if you look at it that way, right? Like
Yeah.
underlying technology.
In the next 5 or 10 years, I think there's going to be an awful lot of models. I also toil with this question on purpose fit solutions versus generic solutions. Chat is a really good generic solution. I've actually been thinking, so I took almost 3 months off and I was like just thinking about stuff, which was pretty awesome. And I also happened to be on a boat for a big chunk of time. And I started asking ChatGPT questions about my boat. ChatGPT knows nothing about my boat, right? A generic model in chat can't really help me. It can help me generically, but it doesn't know that I've got a generic model like chat can't really help me unless it can learn all of my environment.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Money Mavericks. We hope you found it insightful and inspiring.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. And be sure to share this episode with someone who needs to hear it.
Stay connected with us on social media and visit our website for exclusive resources, episode transcripts, and more.
Until next time, keep pushing the boundaries, making smart moves, and turning your financial dreams into realities.
You've been listening to Money Mavericks, where Mavericks become legends.